Greetings fellow Thanos. As you may know, due to the Warframe mod system, Endo is an extremely valuable resource, and you would need tons of it. Most Endo farm guides contain outdated or just incorrect information, and that's why me and the boys are here to present the most efficient and easy Endo farm method so far. First thing first, you need to have Steel Pass unlocked. We are going to do an arena Endo farm on Sedna. There are two mainstream maps for this type of farming. One is Vodenoy and another one is Yam. But Vodenoy has much higher enemy level and therefore provides significant increase in Ender drops relative to Yam. So we are going to choose it. Before moving to particular builds and mechanics, make sure you have both drop chance and resource booster. They do stack and therefore gain 4x Ender yields. At the same time, remember that despite widespread memes, mod drop chance booster does not really affect Ender drops. Though the grid is designed for all sorts of players, it would be more useful for those who are already familiar with Ratum Ender farm and want to optimize their techniques. With it being said, let's look at our team composition. We are going to need Inaros, Hydroid, and finally Necros. The first slot may be filled with second Inaros or any other frame, to be honest. If done correctly, this method will earn you crazy amount of Ender in record time. Unfortunately or not, you won't get anywhere close to those ratios using any other methods, including railjack missions, Deimos bounties, or even arbitrations. With all that in mind, why don't we finally break down all builds and interactions. Inaros is a core part of the strategy as he takes on the role of main tank and frontliner. Rasum Arena enemies on Steel Pass are capable of one-shotting easily any frame, but not Inaros. Nevertheless, for maximum survivability, it is strongly recommended to install 2 Umbra Formers at once, or even better 3 or 4, as Sentient Resistance really adds up to overall tankiness. Spending that many Umbra Formers may seem like a costly investment, but regarding Inaros, high performance in all forms of Warframe content, it's worth it. Next, you will also need to infuse Needle's Larva in place of Inaros' first ability, since he will also be tasked with pulling enemies into Hydroid's water pool. Main stat you should build your Inaros around is duration, simply to make each cast of Larva last as long as possible. The range isn't necessary at all, but strength might be, as being the second DPS of the team you will have to use Sandstorm ability to help with killing, but don't overdo it or you will kill mobs too fast before they can get trapped. What I like to do is to toggle the ability on and off for a few seconds. For many years Hydroid has been indispensable in all possible farming strategies, and once again we summon the great power of Lord Hydroid. The main thing here, as always, is not to forget the augment mod Pilfering's farm, which greatly enchants his looting abilities. Our main farming tool will be tentacles, so be generous with putting as much range as possible to cover most of the map. A little bit of duration and efficiency won't hurt either, because along with that we will be using the third ability, Undertow. In addition to being a great defensive instrument that turns you into an untargetable puddle, it sinks all the mobs that steps on it, and does little damage to them. Besides, that's where our combo with Inaros' infused larva comes into play and leaves no one alive. So basically, what you will need to do on Hydroid is simply to get in the center of the map, turn into a puddle, press the ulti and enjoy some great quality gameplay. Playing Necros proves to be the most challenging role, as it requires constantly toggling Desecrate ability as fast as possible for maximal possible loot. Some suggest that you should just turn it on once and keep it active, be it trolling or simple unawareness. Don't fall for that, and remain efficient. The sound of pressing the button should be well audible, and when you play with friends, presuming you have any, check if they clearly hear you spamming. Here is an example of how it should sound. As for the build, there is nothing too complicated. All you need is Equilibrium and Desecrate augment mod. Despoil, which makes Desecrate use health instead of mana. Other mods are really insignificant and you can fill remaining slots with whatever you want. But I like to leave them empty, so as not to waste endo on leveling mods really unnecessarily. Through the run, you may die from time to time, however it doesn't affect your endo game heavily, as long as you keep spamming the Desecrate. For Inaros, as only DPS, it's important to take something like Nucor with a high status chance to spread as much fire status effect as possible to help Necros desecrate bodies even faster. For all other party members, it doesn't matter, as they are going to be doing different tasks and won't have any time to DPS. But I like to equip just any kind of melee weapon, like for example Guandao Prime, not to carry any extra weight to the mission. That's pretty much it. Though there is quite a list of frequently asked questions, which we want to address. How do I restore my energy? As you could see in the beginning of the video, you can use the generic focus school, but that's really not necessary, as you can just pick up energy orbs that frequently spawn on specific points at the arena. What focus school to use? Focus schools, as with other content, literally do not matter. Do you need enemy radar aura? No, that is in abundance, as this style test has little to no obstacles blocking the side, and all falls are clearly visible from any point of the map. Can I bring my pet to the mission? Unfortunately not. Grenier in this mission has an allergy for your companions, and that would be very rude of you to bring them with you. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in comment section below. Anyway, I hope you will put the newly acquired knowledge to good use. Tenno. Leave a like, subscribe, peace out. Tenno.